We can start in Sukhasana. There's someone else. So cross your legs at your mid-shins. It's Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
There you go. And then you guys lean over one side to the other. Take your hand, upper hamstring, lower buttock, rotate out, draw back. Do that on both sides. And take your time. Feel as if your sits bones have moved away from one another. And then see if we can do a dorsiflex of the feet. So draw your 10 toes back towards your kneecaps and then draw your outer feet down. And then as you exhale the breath, relax the feet, relax the outer knees and the outer hips. Bring your fingertips to your blankets and press and lift your side body. Spread your collarbone, your arm bones move out to the sides. Your shoulder blades, they do come into your back, but they also spread away from your spine. So you're not drawing your shoulder blades in towards your spine, but rather away from your spine, but into your back. So into the back body, the shoulder blades move. And then you can release your fingertips and bring your hands together at your heart center. Let's keep our thumbs down low towards the lower part of the breastbone. And this gives the tops of the shoulders some space. So tops of your shoulders move away from your earlobes. Keep your chin parallel to your mat and close your eyes. Begin to center yourselves here using your breath. You'll take a few moments here and inhale your breath. Move your inhalation into your outer body. And as you exhale, empty your lungs completely. I'll chant Om. You guys can join in or you're welcome to just listen. Exhale your breath, bow your head, bring your chin to the groove of your neck. Bring your hands down to the very tops of your legs. You'll center your head. And as you exhale the breath, you can slowly open the eyes and release your hands. Very good, guys. Let's go ahead and move forward towards the top edge of our blankets. Is that you, Lisa? And make sure again that you're crossed at your mid-shins. You can use blocks for this, or you can just come forward, lift your side rib cage, shift your torso forward, bring your right fingertips right outside of your right leg. Take your left arm, let's start with it out in front of us and see how far we can walk the left arm, left fingertips out in front. Once you get the left arm and left hand out in front of you, see that your chest and your front rib cage is lined up inside of your inner knees. Press with your right fingertips, lift your chest, lift your left hand up, and move your left hand and left arm over to the right. So if you can place your left hand right directly in front of your right knee. Walk out a little bit deeper, turn the inner eye of your elbow up. Rotate your left back rib cage down. Bring your chin down towards your right kneecap. And then you can inhale from here and look up and exhale. Bend your left elbow and bring yourselves back seated. Perfect. And then let's go ahead and uncross and recross. So bring your opposite leg in. Move the lower buttock flesh. Make sure your sitting bones are moving away from one another. And you want your knees really as low as possible. So the lower your knees are, the better. If they can come down below your hip points, great. Lift up, shift forward. Left fingertips this time right outside of the leg. Take the right arm and bring it right in front to start. Walk it out in front of you. And once you get that right arm out in front, very, very long here, you'll push down into your mat with your right hand. Rotate the inner eye of your right elbow up. Now lift your right hand up and shift it over to the left. Again, you'll line it up in front of the kneecap. Don't round the spine, guys. Move the navel up. Bring your spine in. So if you can bring your shoulder blades into your back as well as your spine and your back rib cage. Bring your chin to the groove of your neck. Rotate the right back rib cage down towards the mat. And then as you exhale the breath, bend the right elbow and come up. Perfect. Go ahead and stretch your legs out in front of you. And once more, you'll adjust the flesh. So lean over very well to the right or the left. Take the hand, lower buttock, rotate out, but also draw back. And make sure that we line the feet up. So the inner feet line up, the base of the big toe joints line up, and there's this outer to the inner thigh rotation. Use a strap if you need. Otherwise, if you don't need a strap, take your arms out in front of you, really lengthen your arms. Move forward by moving your navel up, away from your pubic bone, and let's grab the heels of the feet. Not the outer feet, not over the toes, but the heels of your feet. Now, tug the heels of your feet in, use your hands, lift your spine, and with your exhalation, bend your elbows, take them straight down right outside of your outer legs, your calf muscles here. And then tuck your chin towards the groove of your neck. Make sure your kneecaps are straight, your legs are activated, your heel bones are moving down, your femur bones are moving down, your shins are down. No rounding in your spine. And then inhale to stretch up and exhale, release. Perfect. I'm going to use a block, and a way that you can do this without using a strap in the block is bend your knees very well. Make sure your knees are together, and I'll come seated right in the center of the blanket. I'm going to take the block and bring it to the outer feet and then just sit tall for a moment. And then I want to see if I can extend into my heels, reach into the block, and then I'll move forward and grab the block with my hands. I want to bring my hands down very low with an exhalation. Make adjustments here. Push until your kneecaps are straight. Keep your elbows straight, your knees straight, and push the block with the heels of your feet. On an exhalation, you'll wind your elbows out to the sides and fold. But keep your legs very active, guys. It really lengthen out your arms so your elbows, once they bend, it's out to your sides. So you can bend both of your knees, bring your inner knees together, rotate your inner knee flesh down, bring the block to the heels of your feet. Now, that's it, Aiden. Adjust the buttock flesh, even moving the buttock flesh up towards the lower back. Great. Now, once you come forward and you grab your block, even if your knees are bent, take your outer hands down so they're reaching down into your mat. Hold your blocks, pull your block into your feet, and straighten your knees as much as you can. Your arms should be very long. Your arms get very, very long. Here, bring the back body in, bring the chest up. Good, great, great, great. Great, and then we can inhale, stretch up, and exhale, release. Perfect. We'll put our blocks here to the side, and we'll sit again right at the edge of the blankets, or more center of your blankets. And let's take our right knee, bend your right knee, and bring your right heel about a fist distance from your blankets, and make sure that your left foot is very active. So it's not like this, but you're drawing the center heel down, left toes up, and the left leg very firm. Take your left hand right outside of your knee, your right knee, or you can go below your shin. Lift your chest, twist to your right. Take your right arm behind your back. You want to really tug the right knee in, but press through your foot. Look over your right shoulder. Look over your right shoulder. Now you're just holding the knee, drawing the outer knee in. Now exhale your breath and draw your outer right knee back towards your outer right hip bone. Look over the right shoulder. Great. And then exhale, gaze to the center first, and then release. Perfect. So you'll come from here, this is your exhale, to here, and then release. Okay? So bend the left knee, and you can hold behind your knee, and then you'll place your left foot on the mat, and it's a fist distance. And then right hand holds the knee or at the shin, right, really outside of the knee. Draw in, lift the chest. Keep the spine lifted as you twist to the left. So don't round, but lift tall. And then twist to the left. So that thick rib cage, the outer right rib cage, can continue to rotate to the left. Or the outer right rib cage, move it away from your spine. Now draw your outer right hip back and look a little bit deeper over the shoulder. As you exhale, you can bring your gaze, your head forward, and then release. Perfect, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna take my legs, extend your legs out. We're gonna do another spinal twist. That was Marichi Asana 3. We'll do Machendrasana. So I'm gonna separate the feet slightly, bend the left knee, and when you do this, shift forward so that your outer left leg is in line with, let's see, the left kneecap moves forward. So in other words, you're not here or here. But when you pull the right foot in, turn the top of the right foot down, the outer left knee and the outer left hip. Now lean over to your left and place your right foot right outside of your left thigh. Great. Now your sit bones, guys, remember they need to go back and up towards your low back. So don't let your sit bones roll forward, but rather back and up. So you can make those adjustments. And then take both hands to your outer right knee. Now draw in, draw in, draw in until you can press firmly into your inner right foot and your outer right foot. Hold the left hand to the outer knee. Twist, look over the right shoulder. And as you look over your right shoulder, guys, draw your outer right knee back towards your outer right hip and ground your right sitting bone. So everyone, roll the right sitting bone down into your blankets and then draw your outer hip back behind you. Great. Gaze to the center and then release. Perfect. So yes, outer hips you should feel. So we'll switch sides for this. And again, your feet separate. Bend the right knee and it comes forward. So you do have to shift and almost roll against your blanket. You see, so instead of this, you want to lift up, take your bottom back, and the inner groin rotates down. And then bring the left foot over. You'll place the foot, you want to draw the knee in, draw the outer hip down, look to your left. So make sure you've got a lot of weight in that inner right foot. Push down into the mat with your inner left foot. Push the mat. Now bring your left sits bone down onto your blanket and then draw your outer left knee back. Use resistance of that right hand. Move your outer right left hip away from your right hand. Look over your shoulder. Perfect. Perfect. And then you guys can twist your gaze or move your gaze back to the center and then release. Perfect. And then just stretch your legs out. So I'm going to move my props. I did this sequence earlier, and if I can remember it, I think we can have a grand old time. So I'm going to, and if you want a blanket on your mat, it's Adho Mukha Virasana or child's pose to dog pose. So I'm just going to use this blanket for comfort. But when I come on top, and I see this all the time, guys, watch my outer feet, ankle bows. I see sometimes we do this. And it's a hyperextension of the outer ankle bones. I'm almost like pigeon-toed behind me. So I want to keep the big toes together in that almost pigeon toe, but when I lift up, I want to tuck in. Hold the outer heels in and then place the bottom against the heels. Come up and over. I'm going to begin by walking out into the fingertips. Now watch. Turning the inner eyes of the elbows up. And then coming to the outer hands, pressing down, moving the chest towards the mat. And then I'll see if I can turn the palms of the hands up to the ceiling. Spread the shoulder blades. Try to get the thumb sides of my hands to come down as I press into the mat with the backs of my hands. and then we'll come up, okay? So make sure that your outer heels and your outer feet, ankle bows, are tucked in, right? And then sit directly on top of your heels. Maybe you need to add a blanket to your bottom, or like Esther's done, sit on top of a block and then move forward. So if your bottom needs height for you to stay grounded, then add height to your bottom. Okay, so go forward, guys. Move, walk out, spider walk out, but resist. Use your upper legs, draw your legs down, bring your bottom down, and make space at the backs of your arms. Go into your fingertips. Now press into your fingertips, take your gaze towards your hands, turn the inner eyes of your elbows up, and you'll feel the back rib spread, and you'll also feel your shoulder blades spread. One hand at a time, come down onto the outer hands, pinky sides of your hands, press your outer wrist down, move your shoulder blades away from your upper back and your spine, and bring your chest towards your mat. Now see, one hand at a time, you can turn the backs of your hands to your mat, spread your thumbs away from the rest of your fingers, and see if your thumbs can rotate down to the mat. The thumbs rotate down towards the mat. Stretch the arms, make sure the arms are as long as possible. And then with an exhalation here, you can let your elbows bend and rest. And I'll turn the palms of my hands back down onto the mat. You can bring your forehead down for a moment, but let your elbows lift up. Lift your elbows up. And see now if you can rotate the inner eyes of your elbows to the ceiling. Bring your forehead down. So you're really trying to be able to concave your upper back, but you've got to use your arms. Great. And then you can exhale, let your elbows bend and rest on your mat. Very good. And then you guys can go ahead and come seated. I'm going to do a dog pose from here, just regular on the mat for a moment. I'm going to come to the hands and knees, spread the thumbs in that same internal rotation. So rotating the inner eyes, external, of your elbows forward, like this. So really work to bring the backs of your upper arms and the inner eyes of your elbows forward. I'm going to take the knees up and press my weight back into the heels of the feet. So the arches of the feet lift, the heel bones come down, the calf muscles descend, and the chest, you concave the thoracic. So take your time to come up. Good, good, good. Now get lots of space here. I want everyone to do this. As you push your hands, lift your fingertips. Now I want you, as you lift your fingertips, I want everyone to lift your heels up and wiggle your legs and your feet back. And then as you exhale, descend the calves to the heels. So bring the heels as close to the mat as you can. Yes, your legs have gone back further, but really bring your heels down. Stretch your kneecaps up. Move your breastbone towards your chest. That's it. Your breastbone towards your chin. And then you guys can exhale and come down and just rest however you want. So maybe you want to rest here in Adho Mukha Virasana with the elbows, hands, and arms behind. Perfect. And then you guys come up and watch, and I'll show real quick another dog pose. And I'm going to come back into dog pose. And again, I don't want us to be here, but I want us to really get those legs and feet back and push until we bring our heels down. And we'll start opposite of the way I'm going to start, but watch. I'll push with the right arm, let the left arm come back, and I've got to really move my chest back to grab the front of that ankle. I want to, not here, I want to press down and push with my hand, my right hand, and then we'll switch sides. So we'll start, once you guys get into dog pose, we'll start bringing the right hand to the left ankle instead of the way that I did it. So come up onto the hands and the knees, and then push your knees up and come into dog pose. Now, Lisa, if you can't do this, if it's too much on your shoulder, just stay in regular dog pose. But really push your weight back. And I want your hands and your feet to have a good distance away from one another. So lift your heels up, and everyone, don't twist yet. Lift your heels up and take your legs and your feet further back. That's it. Take your legs and your feet further back. Now press down into your heel bones and go ahead and take your left hand, your right hand, and reach across and grab your left ankle. And it can be in the front. Now, as you do this, push with the hand that's still out in front against the mat. Push. And move your chest. Take a twist, but move your chest back towards your leg. Great. And switch sides. Perfect. So take a moment to bring the opposite hand back to your mat, and then bring your right hand back to your left ankle, or whichever way it is. It's probably opposite. Go opposite. Don't arch your back, guys. Draw your abdominal wall back. Or open up the armpit of the arm that's extended out in front. Great. Take a slight twist, let your head relax, and keep your legs very active. Great. And then you guys can exhale, release, and come down. Perfecto. And you can rest any way that you want to rest here. So if you want to sit on your heels, that's fine. If you want to come forward and rest your elbows and arms on the mat, that's okay too. And I'm going to do a couple rounds of Uttanasana. Uttanasana. So I've got my 2 blocks, and I'll bring them out in front or to the side, and then I'll push up, and when I come up, I'm going to step up between my blocks. My feet are pretty wide. They're a little wider than hip distance. And then I'll press down, keep the elbows bent, let the head and the neck relax. From here, I want to, instead of here, guys, watch, I want to make sure that the sits bones move apart, but I also want to shift my weight over into the front of my feet, so that I'm not here, but I'm here. And then I'll bring the blocks behind me, or I can just bring the hands. I'll turn the backs of my hands onto the blocks or onto the mat and fold. Okay, so your blocks may be higher. You see, your blocks can be on the higher level. They don't have to be on the smaller level. But when you step up, start with your feet between your 2 blocks. So once you step up, take your feet and reach your outer feet into your blocks, just like this. And you can start with your elbows bent and your gaze down. Now when you push, you lift your arches, your inner knees, your inner groin, fold a little deeper. Let your head relax. Everyone, use your hands to your block and shift into the front of your feet. Bring your heel bones down. Now, take your blocks behind you, or you can remove your blocks altogether. Turn the backs of your hands onto the floor and take your arms, your hands back. Take your arms and your hands back. So you want your hands and your fingers to move as far behind your outer feet as possible. You are with your legs at least hip distance apart. That's great. Stay here. Take some deep breaths. I want everyone to let your head relax and then let your upper arms relax. Just exhale and let your arm bones descend. That's it. Now shift. That's great, Esther. Shift into the front of your feet, everyone. Make the backs of your hands a little heavier, and as you exhale, relax your entire torso. Relax your entire torso. That's great. That's great. Take the hands further behind the outer feet. That's great, Esther. Now shift just a little bit in the front of your feet. That's wonderful. And then you guys can grab your blocks and bring them back to the outer feet. Or you can bring your hands to your outer feet, but I'll go here. I'll push and lift. Stay very solid on all 4 corners of your feet and come up. Wonderful, wonderful. We can let the torso be heavy. We'll get a lot of lift in our legs. So let's do one more of this one. And so I think I'm going to take the blocks together, one in front, one in back. Now, if you only have one block, I would say you could still do this with your block turned like this, right? But if you have two, put them together. And then I'm going to step up on the two blocks, and I'm bringing the heels of my feet to the back of the block. And I want to try to get my toes fairly loose, right? And normally we do this with our legs and our feet together, but I've got my feet a little bit apart. And then I'm going to exhale and come forward. Now, as I come forward, I don't want to be here, but I want to shift forward. And you'll feel the blocks kind of become light where your feet pressure is light. So keep your blocks pressing down into your mat. And then again, remember this. So come here and then grab and fold even further. Okay, so step up on your two blocks. Let's take our legs and our feet apart. So Lisa, come up and bring your feet and your legs apart some. So you're not touching like this, but you let your feet separate. This gives us a little more work to do, I think. Now push down into the block with your heels and the base of your toes. Bring your hands to your hips. Exhale, come forward. Now you'll begin to feel the block. So press with both heels down, press with the base of your toe joints, and wiggle your 10 toes. See that they're loose. See that they're loose. Keep coming forward here. Lift your kneecaps. Press down into your blocks. Now, exhale your breath. Release your arms, hands. Just let the backs of your hands move towards your mat and go ahead and relax your head. Relax your head. Shift into the base of your toes. That's great. Let your hands be heavy. Relax your head. Relax your neck. Deep breath. Extend the hands back. Grab the back block. Pull the back block with your hands and move your chest towards your thighs. Great. Great, great, great. That's excellent. And inhale, lengthen and stretch up. Look out in front. And you can exhale, bring your hands back to your hips. And come about parallel. Press the leg bones back with your hands and then come up. Excellent, guys. Really good, everybody. And then step off your blocks. Put your blocks to the side, and I'm going to get my strap, and I'm going to make a big loop. Not a big loop, but I'm going to make a loop in my strap. And you'll need a wall for this first one, just for security. Security measures here. So you'll make a loop in your strap, and you'll find the left side of your body to a wall, and that is just for the fingertips. So watch, I've got a nice loop in my strap. It shouldn't be too long, but it shouldn't be too short. Just, where you can grab into it. Now watch, I'm gonna stand in Tadasana, thighs back, bottom in, chest up. I'll bring the left fingertips to the one. I keep the chest lifted. I'll bend the right knee and take the strap around the foot. Then I'll push into the strap, but around the spine. Push into the strap with the right foot. Watch the toes. Draw the right toes back. Keep your left fingertips at the wall and see if you can rotate the sole of your right foot to the left, and then maybe we can left hand hip. Okay? So make your strap as big as you need it, but when you bring it on your right foot, grab inside of your loop. So avoid this. Leaning over to place your strap and doing this. So in order to get your loop around your foot, watch what you do. Stand tall and you lift your knee up. And then you place your strap around your right foot without leaning over to grab. Dyna hold inside of the loop, or walk your hand all the way down to the edge of the loop. So left fingertips on the wall and lift your chest. That's it. Now when you bring your belt on, put your loop around your right foot, bring your right knee all the way into your chest, or as high up as you can. Now exhale your breath and push into your loop as if you're gonna break the grip. That's great. Stay here, guys. I want you to engage the lower left buttock, engage the left thigh bone. Now everyone bring your right thigh bone straight down towards the mat. Don't move your leg, don't move your foot. That's great. That's great. That's great. Now, see if your outer right hip can come to the mat. And now, exhale your breath. See if you can turn the sole of your right foot to the left. Hold your strap. That's it. Now, exhale and roll the outer right hip down. Bend the right knee and release. Perfect. Perfect, guys. So what we don't want to do is bend the knee to get, or fold the torso over to grab the knee. So when you're here, have enough room so you're not like this, but you've got enough space. And when you come here, this is your left foot this time, but watch. Use your loop to pull the knee up and then out. You see, so you push. Really use your foot. So switch sides and bring your right fingertips to the wall. Now, if your strap doesn't make a loop, just wrap your strap around your foot and walk your hand really close to the foot. Now, if you've got the loop, pull on the loop to bring the knee all the way into the chest and keep the knee in the chest and then straighten. Breathe, stand tall. Don't tense the face, don't tense the throat. Straighten the left knee. Now, straighten the right knee and engage your lower right buttock. Engage your lower right buttock. Keep your inner left knee rotating down. See if you can exhale and turn the sole of your left foot to the right. You'll notice that your hip drops down. Good. Straighten the knee, everyone. Straighten both knees. Great. And then exhale to release. Perfect. Excellent. So we'll do it once more. And you'll see if maybe you can move your fingertips away from the wall. And we do this when lying down, supine all the time. But guys, watch me for a moment. So when your leg goes out to the side, if we take here to here, this comes down. Do you see? So let's just do that without the straight kneecap. So everyone, you can put your belt to the side for a moment and use the wall if you need to. But go ahead and bend your right knee up to your chest and go ahead and grab right below your right knee. This. That's it. And flex your right foot. Flex your foot. Now, take your right knee out to the right. Keep it bent, but take it out to the right. Bring your right sitting bone down, Diana, and flex your right foot. Breathe, engage your left lower buttock, tuck your left hip in, and then bring your right knee back. Find your balance, it's on your left foot, and then exhale, release. Perfect. So go ahead and try to get your knee up and grab the knee. I don't know, maybe for some of you who need a boost, if you need a boost, you do here with a nice high block, and then here, and then really pull that knee up. Do you see? So go to the other side. So grab your left knee, below your left knee at your shin. Keep your knee centered. And then bring your knee up as high as you can. Flex your foot. That's it. Now take your left leg and left knee out to the left. Keep that knee bent. Keep a 90-degree angle. 90-degree angle. Everyone, if your left sits bone is going up, bring it down, down, down. So the sitting bone, the left buttock flesh goes down. Bring the knee back to the center. Perfect. And then release. Excelente. So we'll do the full thing, and you can use the strap or you can use your hand to your foot. So with the strap, it's here. Watch for a moment. Not here. You want to bring the buttock down and bring the front ribs and the navel forward. If you don't need a strap and you want to use the hand to the foot, Hold the wall, watch, keep watching. I'll bend the right hip, go inside of the knee and grab the outer foot. And then I'll extend the foot, so now the hand is what the strap was doing. And then I'll take the right leg out. Again, hold the wall if you need to. Watch my left hip, tuck in, and try to even your chest forward. And we'll come back here, and we'll bend, and we'll release, okay? So use a strap in the loop fashion that we just did if you cannot grab your outer foot. And you may be surprised at whether you can grab your foot or not. There you go, Dinah. Stay there. Stand real tall. That's it. So take the strap or take the hand to the outer foot and straighten the right knee. That's it. Straighten the right knee. Push into the strap or push into the hand. Keep your navel leveled and take your right leg out to the right. Go out to the, good. Breathe, 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 guys. Now I want you to rotate your toes behind your right toes and bring your right buttock down. That's it, Molly. Try to keep bringing that right sitting bone to the floor. Bring the leg back, bend the knee, great, and we'll switch. And we do this one almost every single practice supine. So you guys remember all of the cues and all of the alignment principles at supine when we're lying down. So we're gonna switch sides, I think, but what I wanna show you is this. Let me see if I can do this. So on the mat, the buttock flesh may be lifted, right, on the mat. Watch, you wanna draw that femur bone back and lengthen the buttock flesh. Now, as I start going out to the left, even standing, what you're trying to avoid is this. Do you see how my whole chest went to the left? This right side kind of lifted up and rotated to the left. It will do the same thing standing up. So you still, even standing up, you press and you be very solid on the right side, okay? So put your strap on your left foot, use the wall if you need to, and then bend the left knee up and you can grab outer foot or you can hold your loop. You can extend your left leg and you've really got to push. That's great. Now keep very tall, guys. Keep your your chest lifted. Now bring your left thigh bone down, rotate your outer left hip down very slowly, left leg to the left. Don't lose your groundedness in your right side. That's perfect, everybody. It's perfect. Breathe. I want everyone to breathe and see if you can line your front rib cage and your navel up with your pubic bone. Perfect. Bring your left leg back to the center and then exhale, bend the knee and release. Beautiful, guys. Excelente. Perfect. So I'm going to do just a brief version of Parsvo with my hands to the wall, and then I'll do an L shape. I'll do a Ardha Uttanasana. Now, once I get my hands in while my ears in line with my upper arms, I'm going to take a really wide step. Right, like, do you see not here, but you really get your legs and your feet apart, and I'm going to press the right foot down. Watch the right hip. Draw it back. Draw the right hip back. Okay, so take your legs, really separate them, probably further than you think you can. Start with your palms of your hands on the wall and your body kind of stepped into the wall. Now fold in half. So fold halfway to start. Fold halfway. So Dinah, keep your elbows straight. Your elbows are straight, everyone. Step your left leg back, left toes towards the wall, right toes towards the wall. So right leg forward, left leg back. Take a big step. That's it. A little bit. There you go, Aiden. A teeny bit bigger. That's it. Now, you're folding your torso. It's parallel to your mat. Push with your hands. And everyone drag your outer right foot back. Don't move your leg, but draw your outer right foot down and then pull your outer right foot back. Push the wall. Push the wall. Can you lift your right big toe only? Draw your right hip back. Push the wall. And then bend the knees and release. Perfect. Perfect. So you start here again, and tips of your elbows go down, like towards the mat. And then fold in half, start in half instead of in pars. And then I can bend the knees and bend the elbows and make those adjustments, make it a little bit longer than you may do without the wall. And then draw your outer left hip back, and you want to push like you're going to push the wall down. Good, make length in your spine. And then bring your head in line with your upper arms. That's it. Now see if you can concave your back, and everyone drag your outer left hip back. That's perfect. 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 Little bit deeper. Lift the left big toe only. Press the rest of the toes down and draw the hip back a little bit further. That's it. And then bend the elbows, bend the knees. Perfecto. And release. Excelente. Excellent. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to come down onto the mat, and I'm going to take one blanket. I'll turn to the side, but I'll fold that blanket like such. And have an additional blanket and maybe blocks too available. Y'all could probably guess where we're going. So I'm going to sit in front of this blanket with my legs crossed at my mid-shins. And then really adjust the buttock flesh. The front leg, I'll bring up onto the blanket. And then I've got to kind of scoot in to let that outer knee come down. L shape, left hand draws the hip back. You can turn the sole of the foot up. And we'll keep this right leg down first time, and we'll come forward. So we'll do one leg at a time, okay? So sit directly in front of your blanket with your legs crossed at your mid-shins to start. And yeah, and then look at your knees. Now imagine having a strap around your legs. So that gives you guys the idea of how you compact. So, and you don't have to do this, but I'm just trying to give you the idea that those outer legs are in. So if you notice your knees are going out in this direction, go ahead and take your fingertips here and really get them to come in, right? And then you'll shift forward and lift your left foot up and place your outer foot and your outer knee on the blanket. And that's just with your left side. Good. Again, kneecap goes straight out in front of you. So make that adjustment. And then hold your foot with your hand, lift your left sitting bone up, and drag it behind you. Don't move your left foot. Don't let your left foot move. So do that again. Move your torso forward, grab your foot with your right hand, turn it up. Now lean over to your right. Lift your left sit bone up, drag it behind you, and then place it on the mat. Now come forward. Come forward. You're going to go one leg at a time. Don't worry about your right leg. It's still crossed in front of your blanket in Sukhasana. It's just one leg you're folding over, and that's your left leg. Now, as you fold over, I want you to move your belly button up towards your chest. Drag your outer hip back. Pull your hip away from your left foot. Everyone, draw your outer hip away from your foot. And then come up, and we'll change. Good, 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 good. So we can do one side at a time, but you're still in Sukhasana like this. And this time I'm going to take the right leg up, so pull the right foot out and bring the leg up, and then make your adjustments. I lift it up and shift it in. Now hold on to your right foot with your left hand and turn it up, and then just be there for a moment, because this may be all that you can do. You see, so this foot goes up to the ceiling. Now watch the right sitting bone. Watch, guys. I want you to lean over, even let your knee lift up. Now watch where this goes. Draw back and up, and then place the knee, the outer knee, back down against the mat. So really draw your outer hip down, your sitting bone down, pull the flesh back. Then come forward. Now when you come forward, Take any rounding out by navel up to the chest, chest to the chin, and come forward. And then you want to make sure you kind of tug on your right foot with your left hand. Come a little bit further forward. Think about bringing your right thigh bone to the back of your right leg. Right thigh bone tucks in or moves towards the back of your right leg. Good, good, good. And then exhale, release, and come up. Excelente. Now, do you guys have 2 blankets? If you don't, it's okay. But if you do, put one just like we had it, and we'll do the other one behind us the same way. Well, this might not work, but let's see. And then I'll sit in front of my blanket like we did a moment ago. This time I'm going to take that left leg out to the left side like that. And then I'll get that right outer foot and right outer knee against the blanket. Now watch what typically happens if you're really tight here is this. And you become really hollow here. So when you get the outer knee and the outer foot down, lift up, use your hands and drag your bottom back. See if you can lift up and arch your back. And you're never going to hear me say arch your back again. But see if you can lift your bottom up and arch your back, keeping your outer right knee and outer right foot on your blankets. Now come forward and bring your chest forward. And then you can hold that right foot and right knee down. And I'm going to start to take my left leg behind me. Now take my time and see if I can get that left knee and left thigh bone right on top of that blanket that's behind me. So you take your time. So I wiggled my back leg, which is my left leg, against that blanket that's behind me. My right knee is at a 90-degree angle. Draw your right hip back, guys, and come forward. Maybe come onto your forearm. Watch this right hip. Look in this direction. Don't go here. Lift the sitting bone up. Pull the hip back. Pull the hip back. So now maybe the sitting bone or that kind of here at the right leg can come down. But you don't bring your sitting bone down and you don't fall to your outer hip. So you can stay on your forearms, press down into your mat, kind of pull your torso forward. Pull your torso forward, but stay as you are. Stay as you are. So the left kneecap should be completely against your blanket. That's it. So keep turning until that left kneecap is against the blanket. Now draw your outer right hip back. Good. Good, 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 good. And then as you exhale, come up very slowly. Excellent, guys. And release. So what'll be different on this side is that that blanket will go behind you to your right, right? And you start seated, and you start comfortably seated. And then you bring the left over, do you see? So I've got this right leg out, and I'm just focusing on what this left leg is doing. If you notice that you're leaning over and you've got a lot of weight on your right hip, your left outer hip or your left sitting bone, make sure to bring that torso so it's centered once more. And then lift up, lift your bottom, and what we did last time, arch your back. Does that do anything? No, it doesn't. Okay, well, it should. Molly said yes. So do it one more time. Hold your foot where it is. Lift your bottom, and here's what I mean by arch your back. Go like this. There you go. Okay, perfect, perfect. Now come forward very slowly. That's it. Rest your chest probably on the top of that or in the inner left foot. Now you can use your hands down, but watch I move this leg. back. And then once you get here, look, so I'm not on the top of the knee yet, but I'm gonna leave the left foot where it is and roll to that outer right knee. Do you see? So my left sitting bone is free of any prop, and then, but my knee is supported. And then I'm gonna come forward. You can even bring the forearms down again. Draw your outer left hip back, pull your torso forward. And at the same time that you're dragging your torso forward, you're drawing your outer left hip back. Yeah, that's great, Paul. Really, guys, focus on your back knee. Don't focus on your front hip, but focus on bringing the right kneecap straight down onto your mat. That's it. Roll that entire right side, everyone, to the right. Keep the left side where it is. That's beautiful, guys. Squaring your hips. You think about your hips being squared here. And then let's exhale, release. That's great. And come up. Perfect. Perfecto. Let's take our straps and our blocks and our blanket. So I'm going to bring this blanket for my shoulders. One block for my sacrum is Setu Bandha. And then I've got my strap looped again like we had it a moment ago. And I'll bring the back of my head on the mat and the shoulders on the blanket. And when I lift my feet up, I'm going to bring this strap to the middle of my thighs here. Like that. And I do want my knees and my feet apart. And as I come into this, I'm going to press the arms down, push the feet down, and lift. And then bring the block to the sacrum here. Once you get here, you can walk your feet forward. You have to keep them grounded. And if you can even straighten the knees. Or if that doesn't work for you, just keep your knees bent. But use that strap, kind of draw your outer legs into your strap. Really, you're tucking your outer legs in and your inner legs out. So if you can, without doing a lot of moving, you can tuck the outer legs away from that strap. Then press the inner thighs out towards the strap. So you do those things at the same time. Make sure that your chest is lifted. And if your blocks are soft, sometimes you can use double blocks, you see. Or if you don't have blocks at all, yeah, Aiden, you can lift up, and then when you get tired of holding that, you can tuck down. Few more moments. That's wonderful, guys. Really, really good. Make sure that you are using your feet, and you're also using the backs. And when I refer to the backs of your arms, it's like this outer shoulder arm, back of the arm. It becomes almost like a weight or an anchor, and it drops down and it anchors you. So then therefore you're able to get length in your spine and lift in your chest. So remember to use the backs of the arms. Perfect. Few more moments. And then go ahead, guys, and you can lift your bottom up. Now you can come tippy toes, or you can lift your bottom up with your feet flat and take your blocks away. And you still have move your block to the side. You still have yourself on your blanket. And you, again, just rest here for a moment. Wherever you want to go with your arms, if you want to let them go out for a moment. And then really feel the backs of your arms grounded on the blanket, and move your shoulder blades into your back. to give a little lift in your chest. Good. And then you can go ahead, guys, here and keep your strap, well, I hate to tell you to keep your straps on, but come up, or maybe you take your straps off and then come up. But I'm gonna do Urdhva Dhanurasana, and I'm gonna keep the strap. Now, you can keep your, and I've got my 2 blocks at the wall. If you don't want to use your hands to your blocks and your blocks against the wall, then just come onto your mat flat. But I've got the strap, and sometimes we use it on the elbows, which I find to be very difficult. And I find it a little bit easier and more control to use it against my legs. So, just like in Setu Bandha here. Now for me, since I'm really tight in the upper back and in the shoulders, I take a moment to really get the length here. You see, my head is touching the wall, and then these blocks move in towards me. Then if you can do nothing else, rotate the heel of your hands to the wall or to the block, and the tips of your elbows to the wall. Now, if you can go deeper, walk your feet in, see if you can push down and come onto the top of your head, and then adjust the elbows, and then see if you can press yourselves up. Your chest should go to the wall, okay? And then elbows bend, tuck in, come down. And we'll do that twice, whether you're at the hands to the wall with your blocks, or whether you're flat on your mat with your hands over your head or fingertips over your shoulders like this. Okay, now if you have shoulder injury, Lisa, don't do anything that's gonna bother that shoulder joint. Maybe you can only come up onto the top of your head. Maybe that's as much as you can get. But you wanna push hands and you wanna push your feet. So focus on your hands and your feet pressing the floor. Focus on pumping your chest to the ceiling to just get on the top of your head. Great. Great. Use the hands, use the feet. That's it. Once you get up, move your chest back towards your hands. That's it, Esther. Keep tucking those elbows in. Good, good, good. You come up, take a few deep breaths. That's great. You'll come down and rest, and then you can do it again. I think Sunday, well, I don't know what day it was, but one day we did the standing up and coming over to the wall, kind of like a drop back. And I think if you have trouble coming up, pushing up from the floor, sometimes the drop backs are a little bit more opening. Yeah, there you go. Make the legs really solid. That's it, Sarah. Walk your legs forward. Really use your hands to push. That's it, Lisa. I think, Lisa, your feet can come forward and legs too. Yeah, there you go. That's great, that's great. And even if you don't walk all the way down, there's benefit in reaching the wall. So Sarah, when you go back, swing the arms up really strong, and then lead with the chest and reach through your fingers. That's great. That's great, guys. That's excellent. Excellent. Okay, and then we can all release, and we can all come down onto our mats. Very nice. Let's do a supine. Just come supine on your backs. And when you come down, keep your knees bent, feet grounded, lift and tuck your sacrum and your tailbone. See that you have no space at your lower back, so you bring your abdominal wall down. You can walk your heels a little bit forward. Now let's take the arms out to the sides, palms up. Lift both of your feet, knees together. Take your knees to your left, and you can gaze to your right. So you can even use your left hand to hold the outer right knee down, and twist. Make sure your shoulder blades are moving away from your spine so that left shoulder blade can lift up and move out to the left. Spinal twist. And you want to roll your outer hip away. Great. And then exhale, come up through the center and go over in the opposite direction. Spread your chest. Your breastbone does spread. That's it. And your shoulder blades spread. And you still feel like you're able to lift your chest. So you can also think of having your lungs fully open. Fully open. So there will be no compression around the chest. Perfect. And then you guys can bring yourself back to the center. Go ahead and grab your straps. I don't know if you have them or not. Extend your legs, straighten your legs. If you have a wall, great. If you don't, it's okay. Straighten your knees. Push the wall or push the invisible wall. And then let's take our belts, and it may have a loop in it, which is okay, but take your right foot up and place the strap around your right heel, and then extend the leg up. Ugh. Now really straighten this right knee, and you want to bring that right thigh bone back. And if your bottom is lifted, I want you to see if you can get some length in the right buttock flesh to bring the buttock flesh down towards your left foot, but also against your mat. Also against your mat. Now let's hold our strap with two hands, lift your head and shoulders up, and go ahead and pull that right leg in, but press the right leg bone away. Your elbows bend, they press out to the sides, engage the core, pull the leg in, but more so lift up, and then come grounded. Take the strap in your left hand, take your right leg over to the left. Now, let's see if we can keep drawing that right buttock flesh down. See if you can keep the bottom moving. Instead of going over to the left, watch the right sit bone and the right buttock flesh. Pull it back onto the mat. And then use the left elbow. You can bend the left elbow. Good, but really draw that buttock flesh back towards the mat. Whether it's staying on the mat or not, your action is to pull the outer right knee and the outer right hip back and down. Go a little bit further. Go a little bit further over to the left. Everybody bring your right thigh bone to the back of your right leg very strongly. Do it with an exhalation. Great. And then bring the leg back to the center. And then you can exhale, bend your knee, and release your right foot. And again, get the space. If there's space between your back and your mat, you can bend your knees, lift up, tuck, and then extend that right leg. So you get a lot of space before you begin. And then when you bring your left foot up, place your strap around your heel, and then stretch the leg up. Now you have to pull against your strap, and what that does is it brings that left femur bone straight down into the mat. Now, I don't remember what we did. Yeah, lift up and move your nose to your left knee and widen the elbows out and really tug on your strap. You've got to really put a lot of weight in your hands as you draw that left leg back. That's it, that's it, that's it, guys. Bring your thigh bone to the opposite side. So thigh bone to the back of your left leg. Now lower your head and lower your shoulders. Grab your strap with your right hand and very slowly take your left leg to the right. Take your left leg to the right. Now, let your buttock flesh continue to reach to your mat. Your buttock flesh continues to move towards your yoga mat. You can even think of moving your belly button opposite of your foot. So your left foot is to the right, twist your navel to the left. That's it. and engage the bone. Bring the leg bone to the back of your leg. Great, great, great. And then we'll bring the leg here back to the center. Make sure to straighten the knee. Perfect. And then you can exhale, release. Bend the knee and release the strap. Very, very good, guys. And we'll stay supine on our mat. And what I think I'm going to do for this next one, and we often use a block, but today, let's see if we can use a blanket. And you can have more than one blanket, but I just put this blanket right out to the right hip. I'm going to use it as a block. Or if this isn't thick enough, you could do this. You see, so now it's a block, it's a soft block. And then when I take the right leg up, so it can be flat, or you can fold it up to get more space, and I'll bring this leg up, and then I'm going to hold with the right hand really close to the foot, and I want to take the top of that right leg bone, the right kneecap, face it towards the mat, take the right leg out to the right. Now, if you've got the flexibility, grab the foot here. So we try to really reach down into the left femur bone. So your left leg must really stay firmly against the mat. Now that blanket, you want to turn the top of your leg to the blanket. The right kneecap faces the floor. Maybe the right toes face the floor. Now, can you guys move or twist your belly button to your left? Maybe look to your left. Take an exhalation and bring your right thigh bone to the back of your right leg. And then bring your leg up. Beautiful, guys. Excelente. And then bend the knee and we'll switch. So you'll have your left leg up. Your blanket can go over. Or if you have two blankets, you can place it right outside of that opposite hip, left hip. Left leg up, and make sure you're bringing your abdominal wall down and your left buttock flesh long. Reach up, grab with your left hand, take your left leg out. Now be careful and kind of make sure that you're giving a deep external rotation so that your left kneecap faces down towards your blanket or down towards your mat, your left kneecap. And then your foot is moving towards your ear. If you can think that left foot is pulling up towards the ear. Now, everyone ground the back of your right leg. Bring the back of your right leg down. Twist your belly button to the right. Good. If you can hold your outer foot with your hand, do that. And keep a nice deep breath. Perfect. Perfect. And then you guys can bring this leg back up to the center and bend the knee and release. Perfect. So make sure you have your straps. And what I'll say is if you had two blankets and you had them like this, you can, well, no, never mind. I take that back. Don't keep your blankets like that. Take two blankets if you've got it. And if you don't, just one. And I'm going to put the blankets behind me, right at the sacrum, just like this. This is our bolster. And then I'm going to take my strap, and it's in a big loop. And use blocks to the outer hips and knees if your hips are really stressed here. And then I'll make a big loop and put it over my head and shoulders and down to the lower part of the sacrum. Now, if you don't have a strap that loops, you can do it without. And then I'm going to lift my outer feet and place that strap at my outer feet and down to the lower part of my sacrum, and then make the belt snug like this. Pull it down low. So it's not in your lumbar, but it's down around your sacrum and around your waist. And then I'll lift and scoop the bottom forward, and then I'll come recline on my blankets. Then when you get here, you can take that top blanket and maybe turn it up some, so you've got a little bit of a pillow for the back of your head. Now, again, if this bothers your outer hips or your knees, place props here. Your arms can go out to the side. It can go over your head. You can hold your elbows. But we're going to see if we can be here for a moment. So your spine is elevated, and it really should give you a lift in your chest. Your belt is as snug as you can have it, but don't make it too snug to where you're uncomfortable. But make sure your belt is down to the lower part of your back. And really what this does, and while you guys are there resting, I'll show and talk a little bit about it, but when you have the strap over the head and down to the posterior pelvis here, the sacrum, what it does is it does this. It goes like that. So to get a little more of that, you can kind of wiggle your feet forward, and you'll feel that strap draw the posterior pelvis down. That's it. So the feet kind of wiggle forward, and relax your shoulders and your outer arms, and relax your head. So you can also have your head a little bit elevated, maybe higher than your chest, just a little bit. Diana, that goes over your head. So sit up and put it over your head and shoulders. Good. Keep breathing. So again, there is this little bit of a leveling of your chin, guys. So your chin is not necessarily to the ceiling, but it's kind of dropped down just a little bit towards the groove of your neck. See if you can relax the muscles in your face, relax your tongue, relax your brain, relax your heart. Just a few more moments. And again, as I said a moment ago, if you happen to not have a strap or not have blankets, this can be done on its own, just lying on your mat. Okay, it's a very nice restorative position. And it will create space and opening in your low back and in your hips, because you're in an external rotation. Exhale, and you guys just draw your abdominal wall towards your mat, but that's all I want you to do. I don't want you to press your feet, your hands. I don't want you to tense your face. I want you, as you exhale, to bring your abdominal wall down and see how this changes or articulates in the inner groin and in the knees. Very nice, guys. And you guys can go ahead and prepare to come up. So first place you can be is let your elbows bend and let your hands just come to your belly. There you go. And then you can grab your mat with your hands, bend your elbows into your mat, and come seated. Now when you come up, take your belt from off of the outer feet and then over the head, good. And then stretch your legs out for a moment. Just stretch your legs out. And again, you can adjust here your buttock flesh. And we'll sit in Dandasana for a moment, and then we'll take legs up the wall, okay? So Dandasana, straight knees, lifting through your side body, hands against your mat. And then you guys can exhale to release and bring your one blanket to your wall. And it can even be more than one, it can be two. So this is a nice way to do this. You can put two blankets on top of one another like this, and you can put them directly against the wall, right? So when you sit to the side, your bottom goes to the wall, the backs of your legs go to the wall, and your feet go up top. But you can also move it away a little bit like this. You see, so you have a couple of inches between your blanket and the wall. And then watch, you come inside, and this already gives you a drop of that hip, like this. And then you turn and you place your legs up the wall, here. And then you recline back. Oh, you bring your shoulders and the backs of your arms down. You can lift and scoot. Now here you draw your bottom down. You draw your bottom down, and those arms can go out or over. Oh, that feels so good. But if your blankets are a little bit away from the wall, it's drawing your back rib cage in. Can you tell? If your blankets are a little bit away from the wall, your bottom is kind of freely descending between the blanket and the wall to the mat. The chest should be really elevated, and your blankets are probably around your back ribs, your lower back ribs, and this gives you the ability to put weight in the backs of your arms. Good. And again, like some of you are doing, if you don't have props, this won't stop you from doing this pose. Okay? This isn't a pose. The only prop you need for this is a wall. And if you were in a position where you didn't even have a wall to use, you could use a chair with your legs in the chair. But once you get here, guys, see if you can feel heaviness in your outer feet and in the heels of your feet, and go back to being in the studio and having the sandbags on the heels of the feet, and just try to imagine that weight, maybe several sandbags on the heels of your feet. Then don't tense your legs, don't tense your feet, but gently bring your outer hips towards the wall, and your bottom begins to relax a little bit deeper into the floor or into your mat. And this will be our inversion here. Your shoulder blades still move out away from your spine. And you guys can exhale your breath and close your eyes for a moment if you hadn't done that already. The heaviness that is in the heels of the feet move to your outer legs and all the way down into your outer hips. But that weight is not forced. It's a weight coming from relaxation. It's a weight coming from allowing the bones in your body to settle towards the mat, or the bones in your legs settling towards the wall, not you pushing them into the wall, but them kind of moving in that direction on their own through weight. A few more moments here, guys. See if those upper arms and shoulders with an exhale can get really heavy. Try to allow your weight to move into your blanket, no matter where your blanket is. And if you're not using a blanket, just allow your sacrum to begin to move towards the mat and to spread. Those outer hips can also begin to move towards the wall, but not in a forceful way. Oh, very good, guys. And go ahead and keep your legs where they are, but let's bend our elbows, or let's take our arms up and over our head. You've got your legs up the wall, but stretch the arms out. Stretch the arms out. See if you can get really long into your arms. And then with a second exhalation of your breath, bend your knees. You can bring your knees into your chest and use your hands, roll over to your right, and just push yourselves up. Perfect. Excelente. And when you come up, I'm going to take my one blanket and do a dog pose. So I've got the blanket in front, and I'll put the hands right in front of the blanket where the wrist bones are against my blanket. Take your knees back, toes down, and keep kind of lifting your wrist bones up, but pushing your mat forward. So it's a kind of a gentle lifting of your inner wrist bones away from that blanket. Now, draw your belly button back. Lisa, kind of pull your navel back towards your spine. Good, 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 good. Move your chest towards your chin some, everyone. Take some deep breaths. You can even lift your fingertips a little bit. See if those inner wrists can move to the blankets. Now bring your fingertips down and lift your inner wrist bones away from your blanket. And then let's come down with an exhalation. Come to your hands and your knees. Stretch your arms out. Put your elbows on your blanket and your forehead. And rest a moment. Good. Rest here. Let your elbows rest. Let your forehead rest. The muscles in your face relax. This is a nice one to release the low back if you have low back pain, or maybe you sit at a desk or on your Zoom calls all day. This is a great one for the low back. And then let's come up with an exhalation. And you can prepare for Shavasana. So I'm going to come from here to here. And then I think I'll leave that blanket there and just sit on my bottom. Just scoot in. And now I'm going to use this blanket for the backs of my knees. That's up to you. You guys can just lie flat on your mat if you want. Or you can come down and take your arms out. You can even bring a blanket underneath the back of your head. You can cover yourself with a blanket. You can tie your feet with a strap. But it's the same. I'll remind you guys again of being in the studio and having sandbags on the tops of the shoulders. So sandbags being here would do this. Really bring the shoulders and the upper arms back and down, right? So if you don't have the sandbags, let's imagine that we do, that you've got this weight that's bringing the bones in your body against your mat. And then you begin to sink even deeper. You move past the mat and you begin to, the bones begin to come closer to the floor. And it's not just the bones, but you want to let your organs relax, your internal organs, your brain, your heart. Relax your tongue and your upper and your lower jaw. Relax the space between the ears. Relax the forehead. With an exhalation, check that the abdominal area is very relaxed. And then begin to melt into the floor. Begin to deepen your breath and move your awareness back into the room. When you're ready, small movements in the fingers and in the toes. Bend your elbows, bring your hands to your belly or to your heart. Take the arms up and over the head, full body stretch. Just deepen your breath. Great. Release your arms with an exhalation. Bring your arms and hands back to your side body, and then bend your knees one knee at a time. Place your feet on the mat. And here you want to make sure you've got space at the lower back. And then you can bring your knees into your heart, wrap your arms around your knees and move side to side, or maybe front to back. And then roll over to the right and hold here in a fetal position. And then as you exhale, bring yourselves up seated. And this can be any seated position that you would like. Make sure your chest is lifted, the heart is open. The hands can come heart center, third eye, or resting at your legs. Take a moment in silence. And honor the true self. The moment the understanding comes that essentially we are one appearing as many, all the other problems, physical and material, will be solved. Thank you guys so very much for being here. Namaste.